Hello, East Cleveland. This is Mayor Brandon L. King. I would like to provide you with an update on our city government, in particular, our legislative branch of government. For those of you who have not witnessed it firsthand, East Cleveland City Council has descended into chaos. It is no longer a recognizable, functioning branch of our government. The legislative process has come to a complete halt. Since the beginning of this year, ahead of every council meeting, we have submitted legislation, often the same legislation repeatedly, for council consideration, with no action being taken on much of this legislation, including legislation to provide contracted services to do citywide street sweeping. This will be provided at a grant with no cost to the city. We have also submitted multiple pieces of HUD legislation, including a Section 108 loan, which would allow the city to do road resurfacing, again, with no out-of-pocket cost to the city. We have also submitted legislation that will allow the city to purchase road salt off of the state of Ohio contract versus purchasing this material at a higher price on the open market. We have also submitted the legislation for the lease to manage the Forest Hill Park by the Metro Parks. This was submitted in April. The chaos really began with the election of Patricia Bohoviac. Once elected, Pat led the attack on East Cleveland black leadership with the recall campaigns against Ernest Smith, Nathaniel Martin, and myself, using very disturbing and false accusations. Pat actually made local history, being a seated elected official leading recall efforts against other elected officials. This is something that was unheard of in this city's history. Pat also led the charge to remove, again, through false accusations, to remove and unseat the longest serving elected official in city council history, Nathaniel Martin, including an email in which Pat accuses Nate of inappropriately touching her 4 times. And then Pat attempted to replace Councilman Martin with a convicted felon. In 1 year, City Council went from a fully functioning, operating branch of our government, passing important legislation to help move the city forward, to a state of real chaos. From having illegal meetings that violate the Open Meetings Act and sunshine laws, to attempting to seat convicted felon on city council and hire another convicted felon to work in city council's office. This is madness. In 1 year of Pat being an elected official, Juanita Gowdy is made president of city council. Now, this is an individual, Juanita Gowdy, who clearly, visibly has severe literacy issues and who has a propensity for loud and unruly outbursts, particularly during council sessions. Outbursts aimed at her colleagues, outbursts aimed at the mayor, and outbursts even aimed at residents. In fact, this councilor, Juanita Gowdy, as the alleged council president, routinely wears a judge's robe and a glittery hat while sitting behind the judge's desk and in the judge's chair. Yes, she does this. Even after the Judge Dawson, has made repeated requests to not sit in his seat. This is sheer madness. In 1 year of Pat being elected, the attempt to restructure city council has been disastrous. From council's inability to follow the city charter and properly fill a council vacancy, to the unlawful attempt to prevent Mark McLean, who was legally appointed by the then president Nathaniel Martin, from performing his duties as the Ward 3 councilman. In 1 year of Pat being elected to city council, she and Juanita Gowdy have attempted to seat a self-professed Crip gang member who was also a twice convicted felon to seat him as counsel at large, Anton Billings. In 1 year of Pat being elected to city council, she and Juanita Gowdy have also attempted to seat an individual with 19 aliases and 2 social security numbers to seat him as the Ward 3 councilman, Gary Huff, aka Alvin Hughes, aka Latik Shabazz. They've attempted to seat this individual without doing any form of a background check. They have also attempted to hire a convicted felon by the name of Justin Anderson as the deputy clerk of council. Anderson has spent time in prison for robbing East Cleveland residents, breaking and entering into their homes, and in some instances while the homeowner was there. These two, Pat and Juanita Gowdy, have also attempted to hire the disgraced former mayor and purveyor of propaganda, Eric Brewer, as the council clerk. Brewer was arrested by the Boston Heights Police Department for impersonating another person. He was also arrested for the possession of marijuana and for driving with a suspended driver's license. Brewer led the attempted removal effort of Corinne Stevenson as council president, only to install Juanita Gowdy as president and Pat as vice president. Brewer has convinced Pat and Juanita Gowdy of his ability to have me removed as mayor so that Juanita Gowdy, as the council president, can become mayor without an election, without a vote of you, the people, and so that he, Eric Brewer, can move from the council's office as the clerk and into the mayor's office as the chief of staff. As these individuals on city council continue to destabilize our government, it is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain our partners' enthusiasm. It has taken years to develop these relationships, the relationships necessary to configure more than $220 million in investments with state and county support, including the support of the Metro Parks to manage our historic Forest Hill Park. I imagine your questions are, do you trust Juanita Gowdy with managing this city? Do you trust Juanita Gowdy to ensure that $220 million in investments are realized? Thank you. God bless, and God bless East Cleveland.
Police say Cleveland mayoral candidate Eric Brewer was dressed as a woman when he was charged with marijuana possession and driving with a suspended license 2 years ago in Boston Heights. It was 2009 when, during a heated race for mayor of East Cleveland, that Brewer admitted on national TV that he dressed in drag and posed for pictures. During the traffic stop, police were confused as to who they were dealing with.
I need to know who you are. Okay. That's what I'm trying to find out.
I go by the name Erica.
Charges against Brewer were outlined this week after his conviction was upheld by the 9th District Court of Appeals. Brewer is one of 9 candidates challenging Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson in this fall's election. Police say they stopped this Mercedes on State Route 8 at about 1 in the morning. Police say Brewer, the car's owner, was driving on a suspended license. Brewer challenged the traffic stop.
What's going on? What have I done wrong?
Brewer asked police to give him a break. Police refused, saying he should have given his real name right away.
First of all, when somebody lies to you, you're not giving them a break. Okay. You're towing the car.
As the car was being inventoried, a marijuana pipe was found underneath the driver's seat. Police say marijuana was contained in an orange prescription drug bottle located behind the front passenger seat. Brewer was escorted to a police cruiser when he asked for personal belongings.
So what do you need out of your vehicle?
I need my purse. I need.
That's got your keys in it.
I got my keys. No, my keys are in the.
Yeah, in the purse.
I reached out to Brewer for comment, texting and calling him.
Hello?
Hi, Eric. Tom Meyer from Channel 3. How are you? Brewer argued in court motions that police had no probable cause to pull him over that night. His conviction on misdemeanor charges does not stop him from seeking the office of mayor of Cleveland.